Hello again, and thank you for joining me in another behind the scenes of audio. I am Applied Knowledge. Please be sure to follow me on my YouTube channel, subscribe, like, share it, and also please follow me on all my other social media handles that I have given you in the description below. Today we're going to be talking about pre-fader versus post-fader aux sends. So I'm gonna try to do this a little different. I haven't found a program that will allow me to screen capture uh, everything that I'm doing on screen to be able to have some examples for you. Um, so yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what's a good choice. I tried something, but it didn't work out. So I'm just gonna move the webcam and just show you manual style. um, so yeah. Pre-fader versus post-fader aux sends. So usually when I think about this, I think about live sound recording and I think about studio recording. But they both can be applied in the same way. So first thing I want to get into is what is a send. So my definition in my own words is a track that has a signal and that source signal being sent to another track. So uh, a send is a track that the source signal is sent to and received from. So I have a track, I got a kick drum. It's the signal is the kick drum. I'm sending that kick drum to a reverb. We'll just use that for whatever. So yeah, I'm sending that to a reverb, and the reverb channel is receiving that signal from the kick drum, so the original source signal. And I'll give you an example of that looking here. So hopefully you can see this. Let's pull this up. Let's see here. Let's pull this to the side. So you can you? Not a whole lot. If you can read that, so say we got a channel going here. This is FL Studio, by the way. So say we got some signal going up in here, and these are all our sends right here. There are 4 sends. So if I want to say I got a reverb on this send here, and I'm using this track. So what I would do is I would go down here, I would click this button, and then it's basically a side chain button, and it links this channel. Let me pull this back up. It'll link this channel to this channel over here to this send. So just trying to give you a glimpse of that. Sorry for the poor quality. Hopefully you understand what I'm saying. So yeah, that's all the send is. So post fader send. So a post fader send monitors the incoming signal from the channel at a point after the channel fader. So basically all that's saying is when the fader is down, no signal is being sent out. That's all that is. Generally the post fade aux send is used for effects processors, kind of like how I tried to show you in the example about FL Studio. So using the post fade aux send, you would have your source signal and you'd send that over to your reverb plugin. We'll just use that for the example. And then you now have you're able to control how much reverb is being applied to that signal by using the fader. So that's generally what it is. So moving on. So now we go to pre-fader. So this is something that I kind of struggled with at first because I didn't really understand what it meant neither. But the best example I can come up with is using it for monitor mixes and live sound. So a pre-fader is almost the same. So it sends the monitors I'm sorry, it monitors the incoming signal from the channel at a point before the channel fader. So, and what that's saying is, so the fader can be down, but the signal is still being sent out. Um, yeah, like I said, it's generally used in live sound when you're using your monitors. Uh, so typically when you have a concert, sometimes, depending on how big it is, you'll have a front of house engineer, and then you'll have someone doing monitor mixes. Um, So I'll do my best to try to give you another example. So I have a picture of a board that I use at work, the Soundcraft Expression 3. Um, hopefully, let me try to zoom in before I show you. Let me pull this up. So again, sorry for the poor quality. So this is the Soundcraft Expression. If you can kind of get a look at it. So we got all your faders, your channels, and things like that. So basically on the back of this, you have your outputs. And once you do all your routing and your tie system and stuff like that, I work in the theater, so that's how we do. That's how we do it. We'll use a tie system, and I won't get into that. But once you got all your amplifiers going, you got your monitors hooked up. What we do is we'll come out of our will come out of the board, which is the female end of an XLR cable, and will go into that tie system. So once you got that part, now you're on the board, you'll come back to this, and as you can see, I'll try to get a little glimpse. These little boxes right here, these are called mixes. So for however many outputs you use on the back, all of these are going to be your individual monitors that you have. So if I use 3 monitors, these are my 3 mixes. So when I click this button, depending on what's all on these mains, I will be able to feed these faders to this mix. So if I use mix 1 and I have a vocal track on this fader, first thing I want to do is make sure that this is up on the main, or else it won't work. So make sure this fader is up on the main, and then I will click on mix 1, which will be my first monitor. Depending on where you set it, it's however you set it up, that will be on you. So let me move this down. Sorry about that. Sorry, this is very poor. I'm doing the best I can. So yeah, so I will click on this first mix, and then I will go back to this fader and feed that vocal track into this monitor mix. So that is a pre-fader send. And that's basically all that is. That's the best I can describe it using that board. There are other ways that you can do it. Of course, there are hundreds of other boards out there that you can use, and there's 100 different ways that you can use a pre-fader aux send. But yeah, that's the best I can describe it. If you have other questions, please feel free to ask. Sorry I couldn't get you better quality stuff. I'll keep looking. If there's, speaking to that, if you know of any good freeware or something that I can pay for that's not too crazy expensive for screen capturing, please drop a comment, or please leave some information on my Facebook if you follow me on there, or Twitter, or if you just want to leave me an email. So thank you again for watching, and hopefully this did you some good.